everybody! So, if you watch Tales from Cyril, you maybe will recognize me as Verity, the rogue extraordinaire. I also am usually behind the scenes doing the tech support stuff, so this is my first DM chat, so hi! And so I'm here to share an exciting announcement that we have with our Roll for Trouble group. So starting on July 4th, we're going to have a new campaign going live, and I'll be the DM for that one. It's going to be called Rivers of Tueriesal, and that's sort of a combination of French words I smushed together, so my apologies to the French language. But I'm really excited about this campaign. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a Southern Gothic theme, because I really love the Southern Gothic aesthetic, if you will, and I've seen not a lot of D&D and tabletop games really utilize it. There's sort of a lot of Cthulhu-esque stuff or noir stuff, but not Southern Gothic. I went to college in Milledgeville, which, if you know anything about Southern Gothic, is the home of Flannery O'Connor, who is like one of the big names of Southern Gothic, and I hated her. We had to read her in every single English class I ever took the whole time I was there, and it was just like the worst thing ever, and I was so sick and tired of reading anything by her, but I still love Southern Gothic. And also, it's really strange, because when you go to actually visit where she lived, Andalusia, the peacocks make horrible noises and are not at all as graceful and charming as you think they would be. But the thing that really, struck me as the most sort of ironic Southern Gothic is there's a car lot not very far away from Andalusia. So we would be sitting there reading Flannery O'Connor, and then all of a sudden, we would hear, "We've got a great deal on Hondas today!" So it was a very strange experience, and it kind of, I don't know, instilled in me a love of not just the idea of the Southern Gothic place, but also things that don't make sense together, if that makes any kind of sense. See? But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this game. One of the things I like most about D&D is a collaborative nature of storytelling. I'm an author, and so it's very strange going from the book where I have all of the control and all of the say-so in what happens, sort of, and then going to suddenly this game where 4 or 5 other people are also telling the same story as you are, and how does that work? So it's something I really enjoy about D&D, because it's so different from what I'm doing most of the time. And also, my friends are incredibly talented and creative, so they're always coming up with really interesting things that I wouldn't have thought of. And so that's my favorite part of D&D. So with this game, what I'm really hoping to do is to do a lot of collaboration. Sorry if you hear the door rattling. My really old toothless cat is angry because she doesn't have snacks. But the tech crew around is running around trying to find a napkin to shove in the door, and it's very distracting. Oh. But so what I'm hoping to do with this game is to make it super collaborative in a whole lot of ways. And so for our July 4th game, which will take place at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be doing session 0, if you will. That will be a lot of character creation and figuring out who these people are, because what I've done to everyone who is joining my game is given them a weird task. So they're supposed to make a level 1 character who has no history and no background. So that's been interesting to work with people through, because a lot of times the background you take also includes bonuses to your stats or different abilities that may be modified based on that. And so it's, we're working through that, and we'll deal with that as in session 0 mainly. But my idea for this is that these characters are waking up in a strange place with amnesia, and so they are piecing together the lives of who they were before this moment as well. So what we're going to be doing with the characters is, I like to think of it as kind of building a quilt. Is I have the scraps of fabric and I dish those out in the forms of, here's a tidbit of a memory that you have. What the characters and the players choose to interpret from those memories and how they build it into a narrative of their own is entirely up to them. I don't have backstories written out for anybody. I'm not dishing out anybody's whole story to them. I am just giving the pieces, but not a pattern. And so I'm hoping that everyone will be able to come up with some really interesting things that I never would have thought of, and that sort of together they will be building these characters, because some of these memory fragments will include the other characters as well. So we'll see how it actually works in reality as opposed to just in my head, because it may be a total disaster, but I have the utmost of faith in all of the people who are going to be joining us. Don't laugh, Susie. So I'm trying to think what all I can tell you without giving away too much, because I don't want to give a whole lot away before the game is actually played. So it will be a Southern Gothic story, and it's really inspired by a lot of pieces of my childhood, I guess. I'm from Florida originally, and I lived in areas that were swampy and canal-y and filled with gators and just strangeness, because Florida. And then I also grew up in parts of North Carolina that were really mountainous and beautiful, but also still really strange in that kind of rural way. And so I wanted to combine kind of those together into something that was different, something that was my experience of the South and all of its quirks, which are both good and bad. Roll for Trouble is based out of Atlanta, Georgia, so we're all pretty much Southern in whatever way you want to consider. Geographically based, we are all Southeastern. Whether that's where we're from originally or not, but yeah, so it's a lot of sort of piecing together interesting things and interesting places, and so I have my world already built out and what has happened to get it to this point before the characters show up. But a lot of the actual story itself, I really want this to be a collaboration. So aside from the characters, there will be things in the future as well that are also player built, shall we say. But I won't get into too much details about that because, again, it's a secret. But yeah, it will take place a lot in water. There will be a lot of water involved, hence the name literally has river in it. And yeah, the original idea for this was sort of the characters have all died and are trying to get their way back, basically up the river Styx. To life. And that's not where it's ended up now, but that was its original sort of creation. So we've got that going for it, and I'm really excited about the direction I think it's going to go, but again, players always destroy plans you make. It's just the nature of the game, and it's one of the things that I really like, because I kind of like being forced to think fast on my feet, and sometimes the plan I come up with fast on my feet is a terrible plan, like running naked through an acid cave as a D&D character one time. But sometimes they're great plans, and they work out amazingly and better than anything I could have planned as the Dungeon Master. And I think that's one of the most important parts about running a game, is trusting your players and remembering that this is a story that's being told together and not just by you, whether you're a player or a character. Because I know sometimes as a player it can be really easy to get focused in my character needs to do blah 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 blah. And, you know, it's something that I am trying to be mindful of as Verity, because I know I talk a lot in the streams. Verity talks a lot, and I, as a player, need to remember to step back and let other people shine and let other people build the story as well. So I'm hoping that all of this together will you know, help everyone be a better player and mainly just have some fun. Like, I want to make a game that's interesting and spoopy. Not too creepy, though, because, like, let's be real, the world is a dumpster fire, and I don't want to play in a dumpster fire. So, not too spooky. You know, like, if I were to describe my aesthetic, it would be Gothic Lisa Frank. And so that's, you know, about the level we're going for. So, Gothic Lisa Frank levels of spooky. Probably with less pastels. And definitely less neons. So, I think that's probably all I can think of right now, but I've got a trailer that we're gonna play, and then I guess we'll come back to me and see if there are any questions. So enjoy the little trailer. So that's the little trailer that that I put together with as many royalty-free clips as I could find. There's a limited selection of those, but, you know, generally aesthetic-wise, I suppose that's kind of what I'm looking for, and just a very, very small idea of what the game is going to be about and feature. So I guess if there are any questions, I'll answer them, and if not, then we'll call it an early night. So, chat monitors, do you have...
No. It's pretty quiet tonight.
Okay, that's all right.
World Cup and all nerds.
I know, World Cup, woo!
Yeah,
I say woo like I'm watching it, but I'm not, I'm lying.
Go team, whichever team is playing currently.
Not Germany, because they're going home.
Viva Mexico!
But yeah, so the first game of Tueriesal will be Wednesday, July 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after that, it will be weekly every Friday. So it's going to be July 4th, and then it will immediately be, again, July 6th. So that first week, you guys are going to get double whammied with goodness, I hope. And then this Saturday, we have our episode 4 of Tales from Cyril at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to continue watching that, which I hope you will, because I have so much fun being Verity. So I hope you'll tune in for that, and I'm looking forward to going down the river with you all. And that's all for tonight. So thanks for tuning in. Bye!
Alright. Can I also hit stop
Yep.
recording too?